Can someone please tell me how my ex-husband makes over $350,000 a year, yet still felt it necessary to file a lawsuit against me to try and force the sale of my home?
You mean his home? This is yet another example of not telling the full story, so she can play victim. But I'm confused if she seriously thought he would let her keep the house he paid for.
Someone please tell me how my ex-husband makes over $350,000 a year. Okay, listen. I think we're confused. That wasn't actually a real question. I'm not confused about the legality of the issue. I'm not confused about the logistical details of the matter. I'm very, very, very aware of what my divorce decree says, and I'm also very sure that I am in compliance with my divorce decree. He knows that too. He just doesn't like it. So this wasn't a real question. It was rhetorical. It's really more of a question of morality. Because here's what I'm confused about. He blows up all over social media like this dad of the year, I'm a good guy image.
How immoral for him to not let you keep the house he paid for when he can't even keep it himself. Now my question to her is who filed for divorce and why? That one question alone would destroy this victim narrative she's trying to build.
I don't know. I just don't see it. Because I have, like, paperwork and lawsuits and court dates and receipts that say otherwise. But that's a true narcissist for you. Follow me if you want to learn more about what these monsters do to their families. Destroy them while they're still there, leave, and then go absolutely balls to the wall, making sure that they destroy any shred that they might have left behind. Don't believe me? Just find any survivor. They'll tell you. Anyway.
And there it is, the classic, believe me, I'm the victim. It took her longer than I expected to come clean and blatantly admit she's trying to play victim. Keep in mind, her videos are about him not letting her keep the house he paid for.
This comment right here, it's actually the perfect example of what I've been talking about. Because when someone hears a woman talking about post-separation abuse and their instinct is to blame her, that reaction is exactly why this conversation matters.
Now he's abusive. Notice how the words she uses against him get worse and worse with every video. First, it started with him being inconsiderate and immoral for not letting her keep the house he paid for. Then it went to, he's a monstrous narcissist who wants to destroy everything. Then it went to, he's putting her through post-separation abuse. This is the hallmark sign of a story being made up as it goes on.
So if you didn't see my last video, I had asked a simple question. How does someone making over $350,000 a year still feel the need to file a lawsuit to force the sale of my home? The point wasn't legality. It wasn't about court rules. It was about character. I knew exactly what I was doing when I asked that question. I wasn't asking about what someone can do. I was asking what kind of person chooses to do it. Because people forget something really important. You can be legally right and morally bankrupt. And survivors, we unfortunately learn that difference the hard way.
Firstly, because you're not entitled to a house he paid for. Secondly, you divorced him, despite your vows, saying, "Till death do you part." Notice how she's perfectly fine with breaking the marriage agreement, but if he removes his provisions, which is the house he paid for, he's immoral. It's almost like she viewed him as a retirement plan.
See, moral bankruptcy doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like someone hiding behind legal paperwork, using systems meant to protect people to keep hurting them. It looks like smiling for social media when someone else is drowning behind the scenes. It looks like winning the argument while losing your humanity. And the hardest part, from the outside, people just don't see it. They just see someone who looks successful, confident, put together. But the person living it, they feel the weight of every single decision made without empathy. And when you're on the receiving end of that, it messes with your reality because you start questioning yourself. You start wondering if maybe you are the problem. Even when your nervous system is screaming that something isn't right, you still wonder. That's why this conversation matters, because abuse doesn't always look like what people expect.
When I push him away and he doesn't try harder, not my time.
And today, on how sexism is only funny if it's about men, please see the following.
Under my leadership, women would not have to pay taxes. No, they wouldn't. You're a woman. No taxes for you. Everything is a tax write-off for you.
Oh, it gets better.
Next, tampons free. Pads free. Anything to do with menstrual cycle and pain is free.
And how are those going to be paid for? Oh, yeah, that's right. That half of the population that would be left paying taxes would be footing the bill for those.
Next, we are going to stop funding male medical research. No more of it. From now on, we are only doing studies and research for women, on women's health only. From here on out, thank you so much.
So half of the population is not deserving of medical research? Oh dear.
Next, all men must go to work under my leadership. Yes, you must. You must be at work, providing for any woman and every woman in your life. It's a requirement under my leadership.
Yeah, no. There are those of us women out there that can actually take care of ourselves. Sorry that some don't fall into that category.
And finally, every man is guilty until proven innocent. That's just a quick little roundup under my leadership of what I'm aiming, okay? Thank you. This is the Simona Project.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who's wondering, who exactly is going to be enforcing this new sexist regime? I wonder if they thought that part through.
Man, this is crazy, bro. A girl did not think twice without breaking up with her boyfriend for a chance to meet Steve will do it. Bro, the security guard went up to this man, was like, "Who's your girl?" Pointed right to him. He said, "Bro, Steve will take your girl right now." I'm gonna show y'all the video. Y'all got to choose your girls wisely.
What does look like? She right there. Right here. His girlfriend? Yeah. She would leave you for Steve. We don't have a friend. You will just take your girlfriend and her friend in to meet Steve without you and see what happens.
Do that. Let's go right now.
Yeah, come on. You two can come. You guys gotta stay.
Sorry,
or you can stay with your boyfriend. Your choice.
Young
gun. Go. What are y'all doing?
Hey, Steve's waiting. Let's go.
Taking birds. You taking them. This is who left her boyfriend to meet you today.
Sell me too. Yeah, he's right out there.
The sooner they expose their true colors, the better. I'm glad the boyfriend had enough self-respect to break up with her on the spot, if she did that. As we know, there's many simps who wouldn't have had the self-respect to do the same.
Since men don't approach women anymore, I guess I should start going up to men. I live in a city, and literally anytime I'm walking anywhere, anytime I see a cute guy, it's always heads down, headphones in, he won't look at anyone. Literally no one is approachable anymore, no one looks at each other, everyone's heads down, and no one's smiling or just seems happy. Literally no one's socializing. What am I supposed to do? Chase a guy down the street that does not want to be bothered and ask him if he is single? I feel like I give off the most approachable vibes. I'm always smiling, looking pleasant, not looking at my phone, I don't wear my headphones. Literally never once. I've never been approached. Get this, I was talking to a guy I matched with on, we were talking on the phone, had the best conversation ever, ghost me. He literally ghosted me.
That's John the Baptist, by the way. You know, the cousin of Jesus. That Jesus, who said that of all who have ever lived, none is greater than John the Baptist. You know, that John the Baptist? My brother, do you understand how bad of a look this is for you? And by the way, the thing that he did, he told the king at the time, King Herod Antipas, that it was wrong of him to marry his brother's wife, Herodias. So Herodias convinced her daughter to ask Herod for the head of John the Baptist on a silver platter. That's what that painting depicts. That's Herod Antipas' stepdaughter holding the head of John the Baptist after his wife requested that she asked for that, just because John said that it was wrong for Herod to marry his brother's wife. Again, need I remind you, the cousin of Jesus.
Going on against the chopped man epidemic girl is that she's actually quite beautiful.
I'm gonna have to do a longer video on this one. This is the chopped man epidemic girl. If you do not understand this diagram yet, you're not gonna get a better example. All of the women that you can find complaining about the chopped men are in this range. and they don't like the men in their own range. They call them chopped, which means ugly, and they go after these men who will use them for a short time and not commit, and then these women cannot get these men to commit. That's how society breaks down. These women get their hearts broken over and over by trying for men who will never actually like them. These women can't prevent these men from cheating with them because it's just extra women. And then these men get nothing at all and everyone's miserable. That's how society dies.
It's hard to argue with math, I have to tell you.
He's so good at it.
He's good at it. He's good at it. And
he just summed up the downfall of society with the cartoon.
I think if you look at dating app data, it's the same thing. It's a very small pool of guys getting a massive amount of attention from women on a very broad spectrum of attractiveness. And it's a group of women getting much more attention from men that they are largely ignoring. There was another video that was out there. It was viral in the last couple of weeks where a woman was saying, you know, I don't want to be with a guy who's like super obsessed with looks maxing and super into his looks. And then in the same interview, she was like, well, I want a guy who like really takes care of himself and is good looking, but I don't want him to be the kind of guy that like acts that way. And that's sort of like a guy saying like, I want a woman who looks absolutely incredible, but is not obsessed with her looks and doesn't like spend a lot of time on her makeup and on her. Okay. Well, those are two different things. Like if you want to be with a guy who's got an 8-pack, be prepared to be with a guy who's like on a pretty strict diet and goes to the gym a lot. Like that's how it works. So if you want to be with a guy who's like super lax about what he eats and doesn't spend a lot of time in the gym, be prepared for a guy who's got a little bit of a belly. That's how that's going to work. Like, but if you want to be with a guy who's rich, be prepared to be with a guy who's busy, because that's how that works. If you're like, oh, I want to be rich, but I also want him to have lots of free time, well, you're then probably, because unless he's got inherited wealth, that's not likely to happen. So math, it's math. It's hard to argue with math. And I don't think, I mean, listen, you don't have to like what he has to say, but in that video, where's he wrong? Like point out where he's wrong, present the counter argument. I haven't heard one.
If you enjoyed this video, I promise you will love this next video. I will see you there.